Warning, this episode contains strong language or mature themes. Parental discretion is advised.
I always like to listen to music.
So do I.
I brought my tapes. I'll just set it in, and now we push this button.
Welcome to This Podcast is Uncalled For.
What's uncalled for about it?
What we doing at Tijuana?
You met a girl, didn't you? I was like, oh, how did you know? He's like, oh, because it always happens. It always happens. It's the only stupid reason that you would ever drop the ROTC, because of a stupid girl.
And then look, thank you back home.
Oh, that's going to be great for the football charts.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I can think of 100 right off the top of my head.
Is paid a genre?
So it just, a lot happens behind the scene that people don't know about. Like, it's hard for the average voter to understand how much of what they think is their democracy is decided by faceless people to them. You know, you and I know who's making these decisions.
There you go. These are the kind of discussions we have. Fortunately, we're both fairly level-headed people. Again, we're looking at each other in the eye. We're not going to say anything derogatory to the other person. And, of course, neither of us is drunk.
Take me to Gay's barbecue.
It's a bit of a slap in the face and insults.
But you didn't even give him a chance for a wild card spot.
And the look on Mike's face.
They love big boys like you.
It's kind of, what is that character from Guardians of the Galaxy who takes everything literally? The people are out there, like, they could have taken it literally.
Yeah, we're crazy people and we love what we do, and so we just keep creating regardless of how hard it can be sometimes.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
And remember, no you.
That is uncalled for, Michael.
And now, your host for this podcast, Mike Chernevsky.
I have a lot more on this tape. Here. Listen to this.
Well, the name of this podcast is Stuff Uncalled For?
This podcast is uncalled.
Podcast, all right. Well,
And all y'all, subscribe and like and comment and subscribe. Yeah, I said it.
Fuji!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Braden's here with me today.
Hey.
So, usually we don't do a whole lot of memorial episodes on this podcast. That said, we have memorialized like 5 people so far. Trying to add a 6th to the list. So, on my initial list of people to invite, like for the second wave of interviews, was my good friend Steve Williams. And unfortunately, Steve passed away not too long ago. He was just 41. And the day we're recording this, a week has passed since his memorial service. So a little bit about Steve. He was born and raised in Independence. His brother, who, by the way, looks just like him, except bald and with a big beard. He ran the memorial service, and it's a very beautiful service. He opened it with telling us some of the things that Steve wanted to be when he grew up. I think the order was he wanted. It started with he wanted to play for the Royals, which is interesting. Is I don't think Steve. I wouldn't have thought Steve was very athletic. To be honest with you. Number 2, own a McDonald's. Number 3, be a Ninja Turtle.
Anyone specific?
No, didn't name anyone specifically, but just Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Well, 4, you know. So And the fourth thing he wanted to be was Superman. What he wound up being, of course, was a actor and comedian locally. I knew him through the IFC, Independent Filmmakers Coalition. He helped me out on a couple of projects. One I'll go a great length to talk about. He did a recreation of Dick Tracy that you can still find on YouTube to this day. I shot it, and it was edited by Tim Harvey. One of the first things that Tim edited, actually. Film noir style, black and white, and yeah, that was a fun shoot, as I recall. And when I heard that Steve had passed, that was the first thing that came to mind was that particular shoot. In fact, at the memorial service, it was pretty much an open mic, so anyone who wanted to talk about Steve could. And I took an early opportunity to do so. And while I was giving my speech, actually, Tim Harvey walks in. Yeah, it was edited by Tim Harvey. And he just walked in. So, but again, beautiful service. And I find out after the service from our mutual friend, Kelly Farah, who also dated Steve for a while. I should feel free to point out. He basically drank himself to death. So
that's a shame.
Yeah. Another story I'm going to share about Steve right now. So Chasing Eden was a project I tried a couple times, and a couple of people. Oh, there's one other person who's been on the podcast, Chris Hertz, and has been affiliated with it in some way, shape, or form. Even the late Dave Barry, whom we mentioned time and again. So the first time we did this, Chris had played the role of Tyler, the brother of our main character in the film. Well, the second time around, we wound up using two different actors for that. Steve was the first, and it just makes me smile thinking about one specific line that he had to utter, and his mother completely emasculated him. Like, apropos of nothing, that just came out. That actually came out from Chris during an improv for the first attempt. So just improvised. I liked it so much I put it in the script for the second attempt, and just Steve just killed it, I think. And his mother completely emasculated him.
Yeah, that's what they're usually for.
Sadly, the actress who played his mother, Stephanie Reed, also passed away a while ago. But I could imagine Steve and Stephanie right now in the afterlife, just talking. Hey, Chernovsky, you want some big vodka when you come?
Some vodka.
Yeah. Of course, Stephanie's great line from our attempt was, "What's going on with the world?" Yeah. I don't know. It's a fad. Man, everyone wants to be gay.
Everyone wants to be gay.
So the film in question was a nod to Kevin Smith, and even more specifically, a nod to Chasing Amy.
Oh, okay.
Which, for those of you who have never seen Chasing Amy, it's about a cartoon. It's about comic book artist who falls in love with a lesbian. So,
what a predicament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know you didn't know Steve at all. But,
oh yeah, but I could tell he was pretty important to your life.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was my brother. Yeah, in a weird sense of the word. Friend of the podcast, Brian Boy, attended the service as well. Should go and point out. Yeah. And I don't think Brian spoke, but it was nice to see him there.
You remember when you first met him?
From the IFC. Yeah. So about 2005, 2006, around there. I also remember we hung out a lot at a place called Wise Guys, which doesn't exist anymore. It's burned down, unfortunately. It was located about I-70 in Woods Chapel in Blue Springs, where the Quick Trip now stands. All right, if you know.
One of the dozens of Quick Trips around the area.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we would always go there to shoot pool or sing karaoke. And I remember the last time I was pulled over was because of drinking a little too much myself from Wise Guys. So, yeah.
I always end up drinking a little too much.
Yeah. And sadly, it sounds like that's what killed him. He was a good guy. He was a good guy, and he will be sorely missed.
Booze will get the best of us around here, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So in Steve's memory, I would just like to say, please drink responsibly. And if you think you have a drinking problem, don't drink. And for the love of God, don't drink and drive.
For God's sakes, call the Uber. That's literally what Ubers are meant for.
And
I tell people all the time, would you rather have the $400 DUI ticket plus God knows what after that, or just spend $100 on Uber for the night?
Right.
Literally.
Our speeding ticket, our ticket's $400 now. Because I could swear they were a little less.
I don't know what they're at now, but you got to think about how much you're gonna have to fix your car afterwards, like damage if you pardon my language, but fucking kill somebody afterwards.
Well, you know swearing's okay on this podcast, so
I know, but shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean, though.
Oh yeah. So I don't really have much else to add.
Like, you really honestly shouldn't be having a drink in your hand and your keys in your pocket at the same time.
Right.
There's already too many people in the city driving like idiots.
Oh yeah.
The way they are.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And we've talked about that before too. So please, drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. If you have a drinking problem, don't drink. And of course, all my adventures with Steve took place before Uber was even a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
So this definitely had to be more difficult back then.
Yeah. And of course, calling a cab, of course, we both know how expensive cabs can be around here.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess that's the main reason why they're trying to put the terminal tracks all the way down over the park.
Mm-hmm. And I feel that's going to be a discussion for another time.
Yeah, definitely need to be a discussion.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. As we already got one transit episode coming down the pike, and it will have already released by the time you're hearing this at home. So go back to that, and I have no other words except Steve, you will be missed dearly. Me, Kelly, Brian, all your brothers and sisters, your parents, your other friends in the film community. We miss you, and we always will. And say hi to my mom for me. Hi guys, it's Mike again. So there was one thing from today's episode that I forgot to mention with Braden. I might as well bring it up now. And yes, this is something that I brought up during my speech at the memorial service. In 2009, I was pretty much a mess. A big project completely deflated. And I was, and still am, feeling quite lonely. And Steve noticed this, and to his credits, he said, "Why don't you go see a therapist?" So I did. I saw that therapist for the better parts of a decade. He helped me out quite a bit. Ultimately, the reason I stopped seeing this therapist was I had to switch insurances because the plan I was on got way too expensive. So I switched to an ACA plan, and all of a sudden my therapist wasn't covered anymore. So as a result, I had to stop seeing him. But that said, thank you to Steve for suggesting that, and I can't thank you enough. And me miss you. We always will. Say hi to my mom for me. Say hi to Dave for me, and say hi to all the people we memorialized on the podcast. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you again soon.
This podcast is Uncalled For is hosted, produced and edited by Mike Chernevsky. Opening music is I Thought You Were Cool by Holy Yesna CC0, licensed under a Creative Commons 0.1.0 Universal License. The outro music for this episode is Slow Light by Sergei Cheremisinov, licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. The co-host for the podcast is Braden Shryock. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcasting platform. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/uncalledforpodcast, and check out our blog with show notes at uncalledfor.home.blog. If you are in the United States or Canada, you can call us at 816-832-5160. Leave your message or question for us, and if we like it, we will play it on the podcast. Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him.
Tracy, you're a card.
Card indeed, Joe. What can I do for you, miss?
Are you the famous Dick Tracy?
Yes, doll, at your service.
Mr. Tracy, I need your help.
What can I help you with?
It's my brother. I'm afraid that he's gone missing.
Well, what makes you think that?
Well, I haven't seen or heard from him in 2 weeks.
Well, does he have any enemies, gambling debts, maybe?
Well, I'm afraid he's got a bit of a penchant for the cards.
Well, Joe and I will look around. It's gonna be all right, doll. You got Dick Tracy on the case now.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy. Thank you so much.
I don't know about that girl, Tracy. Something about her seems familiar. I don't trust her.
We really gonna do it this time, boss? We gonna stop Tracy?
All is taken care of. Never doubt it.